Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode. I'm going to interview Hilary Graves. So Hilary, I know a lot of you will resonate with this. Hilary has a W-2 job right now, but she's transitioning into full-time real estate investing. And she's mainly interested in passive income and syndication. So those are, it's really how to take your investing to the next level when you go through syndication. And that's where you raise private money and really build up a portfolio. So we're really excited to have her here today. So thank you for being here.
I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Great. So tell me a little bit about your background. What is your day job right now, and why did you get interested in real estate?
Sure. So I was born and raised in York, Pennsylvania, and that's where I am right now. We're about 2 hours from Philadelphia, 2 hours from Washington, D.C. in South Central PA, as we call it. And, grew up with my family, my two sisters, involved in lots of activities. But the thing I was really good at was playing the piano. So I majored in music when I got to college and became a music teacher and a musician. And I still do that to this day, with the exception of 1 year that my husband and I spent in South Korea teaching English. I've been teaching music ever since I graduated college. So my husband's also a teacher, and we come from I come from a teacher family of teachers. And we have 2 kids, and yeah, I say music is my life. So it will always be, even as I keep doing real estate, really music is my life. So yeah, that's where we are today.
Great. So now you work still as a teacher then? Is that what your main job is right now? Okay.
Yeah, it's in a public school. It's literally right down the road from my house. It's probably 5 minutes away from me. And I've been in this school district since 2000 when I graduated college. So it's a good job. Yeah, it's a good job.
Yeah. And so why did you get interested in real estate specifically?
Yeah, good question. The funny thing is my grandfather owned about 12, my mom says about 12 to 15 properties, she thinks. And he was very wealthy, and I didn't even realize that is where he got his wealth. I realized that many years later when I started doing real estate. So I actually do have it in the family, but that is not the reason I started doing it. We had a neighbor just approach us one day. He was watching my husband make something in the garage, which my husband has turned into like a wood workshop. And he knows that he can just fix anything. He can build anything, fix anything. He grew up doing contracting with his dad. And I think that was the reason our neighbor said, hey, you would be really good at real estate. Maybe he was thinking of us like flipping, or just working on our own properties. And that was just like a little spark right there of just the idea of it. And we didn't really do anything with that. But then COVID happened and teachers went home. We, especially the specialist teachers that we are, me being music and my husband being phys ed, we didn't have a whole lot to do during that time.
Right.
I had to make videos. That's really what I did. I made videos, but I didn't do any live teaching, and I certainly wasn't teaching, from 9 to 5. So that was our chance to study. That's where we kind of learned what this whole game was all about. And honestly, it didn't take long before we at least kind of came to the conclusion that normal people can do this. This is not just for like rich people. It's not just for people who went to college and majored in finance or something like that. Anybody can do it. So we took about a year of reading books, listening to podcasts, and all those things that you do to get kind of pumped up and, more information. But we honestly just got to a place where we're like, are we going to jump in or not? There's only so much you can learn from a book. There's only so much you can learn from a podcast. You have to kind of get into the game and just learn on the job. So that's what we did. We bought a 5-unit. We were looking for a duplex, to be honest, but a 5-unit popped up. It was on the MLS. Our realtor helped us find it. And that was our first property. And it was a great first deal.
Right. Yeah. It's something you said is like, anybody, definitely anybody can do this, right? And it just like I wanted to tell, I think a lot of times, especially people that are new in this business, they're worried about, knowing enough, or knowing what else we need to know. You're never going to know everything in real estate. I've been in this business for 35 years. And there are always things that you learn every single day, every single transaction that you do. And then when you think you know something, things are going to change again. And so you have to reinvent yourself. So this is a business. And that's honestly what I like about this business is that it keeps you on your toes. It keeps you going. It keeps you have to renew yourself as a real estate investor. So it's definitely but the great thing about it, anybody can start, and that's very important for people to understand that. Great. Okay. So it says here that you have survived some major challenges in your life. Tell us about that.
Yes. You would not know it to look at me, but I have had the gamut of health issues in my life. But here's the crazy thing. Like I had a bone disease. I had cancer twice. I almost died in childbirth. I had a parasite. I had gallbladder disease. Every time I would have some kind of major setback like that, it was just because I survived it, I would get back up and then I would do something amazing. I would set a goal for myself and think, okay, wow, I survived that. Now I feel invincible, like I can do anything. And then I would go reach a new goal. And that's kind of the case with this pursuit of syndication right now. Honestly, I very recently had breast cancer, and just a few weeks ago, actually had my one of my reconstructive surgeries, and that kind of was the impetus for hiring a coach, a real estate coach, because I thought, okay, I have goals. I want to have this certain unit number. The next, I'm looking for this kind of deal, and I'm going to take one down. I'm going to do it. I'm doing my direct mail campaign that I was doing, and I was planning on taking down, a 15 unit, something like that. I could go up to 15 units on my own. But after being diagnosed with breast cancer and then coming out of that, I was like, no, I'm going to go big. I know that I can. I hear all these people on podcasts saying, if I had to do it over again, I would have gone bigger sooner, or I would have realized that I was capable of doing bigger deals. And all I really had to do was partner with somebody who knows what they're doing, who has done it before, but it's very doable. So that's kind of my newest goal now is I'm partnering with other people, and I have partnered with other people. And now I feel invincible in that way. I feel like, okay, I've got this like huge experience on my side. I don't need to know it all. I made it through the first 2 deals that I did knowing very little. Just a year of reading books on my own. And my husband and I both, we figured it out. And we were successful. And that was just with knowing very little. So it's a very forgiving business. But I think when you team up with people that are experienced, you can really go big very quickly, and be very successful.
Yeah, and definitely, when I started about 35 years ago, it was a different environment. There were not really a lot of knowledge or people out there in the business helping other people. Coaching was not really a thing.
That's for sure.
And so it took several years to get to the point where I felt pretty comfortable in moving forward. So nowadays, you can definitely expedite the learning curve and get to where you want to be so much faster because of all the resources and help that's out there.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about it then. What is your plan? What are you moving towards right now? What are you building? And, so what are your new goals?
Yeah. So it has kind of shifted. I would still love to have that 15 unit and have it just be mine. I would. But right now I'm like laser focused on syndication. So I want to bring in other investors. My husband and I became limited partners in a 137 unit deal in North Charleston, South Carolina. And here's the amazing thing about this is that all you have to do is write a check. I mean, or wire money at the bank. I mean, that is it. And you are in a deal that is making double-digit returns for,
Right.
you know, you literally do nothing to do it. So I want to be the person on the other side of that, the active investor who gives that opportunity to investors and kind of, you know, it's a team sport. Bring them in with me, have my experienced investors, obviously making sure it's a great deal. It's the kind of thing where you analyze 100 deals or even 200 deals before you find one that the numbers work. And you know how that goes. I mean, you're looking at so many deals before you actually find a good one. But that's what we're in the process of doing right now, is analyzing the deals, you know, seeing where the markets are good. I actually am looking in my own backyard in York, Pennsylvania and the surrounding areas, but I'm also looking in Charleston, South Carolina.
Mhm.
And that's a great market, an amazing market. It's just a little more competition there. So, you know, I've kind of got the
Right.
close to home, but less competition, and then farther from home, amazing market, but a lot more competition. And yeah, when we find one where the numbers work, we're going to try to take it down and bring investors in with us, and it'll be a win for everybody.
Right.
The plan.
Yeah, definitely with syndication, you know, it's always about getting the foot in the door, you know. So you know, when you use, obviously you've done some deals already. So you leverage that type of experience that you have. Because at the end of the day, when you do a syndication, what do the investors want to know? You know, right? They want to know how their money is protected. They want to know, you know, what is in for them. They want to know what if things change and I need to pull away from the deal. So once you cover those bases and they feel like their money is safe and it's going to give them the return that they hope for or that you agreed on, then you have the deal. And that's what it's going to take your business exponentially to another level. So instead of just doing the piece deals here and there, this is where you can go buy in bulk, you can go to auctions. That's what I start doing when I start tapping into syndication. So it's a definitely total different level of investing, you know, and it takes you to, but you know, you have to build some ground first, right? You have to build experience. So you have the experience, you've done a few deals on your own, and then that is going to be your resume to show people, hey, I've done these deals, I've been successful, you know, so I want to do more of these and I want to do it on a larger scale. So yeah, that's what it takes is syndication. So that's very good. You're definitely on the right path. So now, what would you say is, and how long ago did you start getting an interest in real estate investing in general?
I mean, right before 2020.
Oh, so it's recent.
It was pretty recent. We bought our first 5-unit in March of 2021. So
Okay.
it has not been that long. We were accidental landlords back in 2007. I know a lot of people have a story like that, where we rented out our personal home when we lived in South Korea. But funny enough, like that did not give me the bug for real estate. I didn't, you know, that was just kind of a, whoo, thank goodness somebody paid our mortgage while we were gone. And then we went right back into teaching.
Right.
So, yeah, so really not that long that we've really been pursuing it.
Okay,
Yep.
great. And so right now then you are transitioning into syndication.
Yeah.
You have, so why are you interested in, anything you mentioned is more like commercial deals. You know, you're not doing residential, you're doing 5 units or more is considered commercial, right? So why are you interested in bigger deals?
Well, our first deal was a 5-unit, and I didn't know the difference between 4 and less units and 5 and more, you know, but there's a huge difference there. There's like a cutoff at the 5, you know, and the potential of a 5+ unit is amazing, as you know, because it's not based on comparables. It's not based on the house down the street and how much that sold for. It's based on the income that the building brings in, and specifically the net operating income. So if you can increase the rents and increase all of your income and then decrease your expenses, you can exponentially increase the value of the building. And I mean, that's just fun. That's just, and there's so much potential there. The other reason I love syndication though, really, it's because of the team aspect of it. You know, my husband and I did the first 2 deals together, and that was fun. It was really fun, but there's this whole aspect of bringing other people together that I really like the idea of that.
Mhm.
I like creating a win for my team and bouncing things off my team. I also just love, I would go for it anyway, but I really love having somebody who's super experienced, who has been doing this for many, many years, has seen so many deals go by, can see, the potential in the bigger unit numbers, which I have not done. I have not, certainly not done, 100 plus units other than, like I said, signing the check. So I would want a person like that in my corner to offer to investors, this you don't promise them a return, but you basically say, this is our expected return. It's a pretty solid home run. If we find a deal like this is what you're going to be getting. And I don't know that I would feel comfortable saying that to somebody unless I had a very, very experienced person on my team who can back that up and say, yeah, I've done this 100 times. This is what they will be getting, So that's part of it too. It's the team aspect that I really like.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so tell us a little bit about the steps that you're taking as far as building your team in syndication. How do you find these people that are going to give you the money for you to do bigger deals?
Oh, how do I find the people to give me the money?
Well, so kind of give the steps that you're doing right now.
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing I'm doing is networking. I mean, that it's all about knowing people, letting them know what you do, and just making connections with people.
Mhm.
So the first thing I did was I joined coaching.
Mhm.
And through that, that opened me up to a world of people that I didn't know who were already doing this.
Mhm.
So I have been taking those people out to lunch and out to coffee. I have been Zooming probably twice a day. I Zoom with somebody just to get to know them and learn from them. And some of us have made connections where we said, "Hey, let's work together." So that's probably on the general partner, the active investor side. But I've also talked to certainly friends and family, and I'm about to do a YouTube channel. I have an Instagram where I kind of put out the opportunity to invest as a passive investor.
Mhm.
Certainly, a lot of people know that real estate is a great thing. They know that they would love to invest in it, but they think you have to put in a lot of time. And
Right.
they think they have to know the whole game. They have to know if it's a good deal. They have to know how to go about the whole transaction. It's a huge learning curve. And it is a huge learning curve to be the active investor, but you don't have to be. That's the beautiful thing about it. So that's kind of what I'm doing now, is just kind of educating people and putting the word out and having some one-on-ones, over the computer or in person, and saying, this is what I'm doing. And I feel pretty confident because of the experienced people that I'm associating myself with on the deal. I feel pretty confident that this is what we can offer. And just letting people know that it's an option for them to use their retirement money or to use whatever. We have got money sitting in the bank or something, or it's money that they can part with for a few years and not need it for something important. Right. Then why not have it in a syndication? Because it's an amazing chance to grow your money.
Yeah, especially, with the rental market, even as things change, it's just it's good right now, but it's going to even be better once things turn, because the thing is, people are not going to be buying as many properties. And so then they're going to go into rentals. Real estate is part of the basic human need, right? People need shelter, need a place to stay. So it's not one of those businesses that go phase out. Yeah, we have adjustments up and down in the market. By the end of the day, it comes back even stronger. And because of the housing demand that's out there right now, and is going to be even more when things turn, it's a really great way to get into it, definitely. And somebody, like you said, if they want to just park their money and just see a return on their investments, but a lot of people, they don't want to be actively looking for properties and, supervising things and so forth. They say, hey, here's my check, give me the return that, we want. And There were, and you always give a range of returns because you're tied to the market condition and other things. As like you said, you don't want to promise something that you can't deliver, obviously. So that's great. I love syndication. And as a syndicator, you make money, right? You make money up front, you make money during, and you make money after. So it's I have a 5 split model on how you make money as a syndicator. So there are 5 different ways you make money in syndication. Great. Okay, so how can people reach to you to know more about what you're doing and see how they can get involved in some of your projects?
Yeah. Well, we have a website. It is www.brightsoundinvestments, and it's spelled just like it sounds, BRIGHT. Investments has an S on the end. Or they could email me, Hilary with 1 L at brightsoundinvestments.com. We're also on Instagram, bright_sound_investments. We tried to keep that as simple as we could. So any of those platforms, I have a YouTube channel, but I'm just getting it started. So hopefully I'll be on YouTube and joining you soon.
Great. Well, this was great information for anybody thinking getting into that side of the business. And it's really impressive that you decided to get it in so early in the game. You've done some investments and you saw the opportunity and jumped on it. A lot of the time people don't know that this is available for anybody. It's like you said, it's about networking, making connections, and show people that you're serious, that you are really dedicated to this, and obviously you know what you're talking about. So, and then people will go on board, because people don't realize how many people are out there. They do want to invest, but they don't really want to have the time or spend the time or really have to deal with the day-to-day operations. And so they're looking for people like you that can do that as a syndicator. So great. Well, thanks for sharing the information. It's great to have, the perspective from somebody who is actually getting into it right now on a bigger level too, commercials. So definitely we will keep in touch, and we will share your information for anybody that wants to get hold of you.
Wonderful. Thanks so much for having me, Laura.
Okay, you're welcome.